Hi there, once again recapped Master with new story. Tight your seatbelt story is about the start. A girl was selling the paper flowers, but no one was purchasing those flowers. Now a good witch alters those flowers into beautiful and pours attractive fragrance through magic. Coming there. Who is that witch? Why did she do so? Now witch is seen with it who used to live alone in a forest, and her name was Little Witch. It is also seen here that she continued to practice the magic, but her none of magic was proved successful. One more member lives with her in the forest. It was the friend of Little Witch, and it was a crow, which used to teach the Little Witch the moral lessons. Now Little Witch says to her friend Crow, I also have to go to that annual festival, where all witches used to dance at night. They all also enjoy there too much. Then that crow tells her that you cannot join that festival because only invited witches can go there. You are not invited there and you are also younger. Then Little Witch asks, how can be I a little one? Because my age is 127 years old. Now two kids are shown at this place, who are siblings. The brother's name is Thomas between them. Thomas asks his sister here, have you ever seen any witch? These kids have also awareness that all witches get together for dancing in a year at once. The Little Witch leaves her house from her house stealthily at night, taking her magical broomstick. She tries that Crow may not cast a glance at her. She reaches that mountain where all great witches were celebrating the festival. Then Little Witch thinks that no one will be able to recognize her, and she will also be mixed in the party crowd. At the same time, an old witch named Rumpelpel catches Little Witch, and she tells everyone, behold, a little witch has come among us. She is uninvited guest and so little. Little Witch says on it, I am not younger. I have grown old. Then she reveals her age. Then all say that you are younger yet. You are releasing a good fragrance and your face is not wrinkled with it. Do you not know that this place is strictly prohibited until you get any invitation? Then Little Witch expresses, I want to be like all of you, and I will obey you. I will carry out what you order. Then all witches think that she should be punished. Not an ordinary punishment, but the toughest punishment. Then the head witch says to the Little Witch while keeping a grand book before her, it is a grand book and you have to memorize it within a whole year, and your test will be taken on the same day next year. If you succeeded and memorized all enchantments written in this book, then you will also be called here. But rest of witches do not agree with it, and they say that she should be punished of any type. Why did we not burn her hair or bury her under the ground? Rumpelpel says, her magical broomstick should be grabbed. Then they do the same and they grab the broomstick of the Little Witch, and they also burn it. Now the Little Witch could not move to her house without the broomstick, so she has to move to her house on foot while passing 3 days' journey lifting the heavy book. And the Little Witch eventually reaches her house, taking this heavy book, where her crow says to her, there was no need to go there for you. You have committed a mistake. Then Little Witch begins to tell the story of that place. There was being enjoyed. All people were rejoicing there, and all were dancing. I am also in full rage on Rumpelpel, because she burnt my broomstick after taking it. I want to take revenge from her. Saying it, Little Witch draws a face there which was looking horrible. Little Witch says, one day, I will turn Rumpelpel like this. Now she opens that grand book from which she had to memorize all enchantments. But she was not able to pronounce those magic spells accurately, so she continued to create the issues because of this. She observes on a day that a few women are collecting some little woods, and those women were also very worried because of the absence of required air. Seeing it, Little Witch performs her magic. Due to this, a fast wind begins to blow there. As a result, small woods begin to fall there and these are gathered at a place. At the same time, a general reaches there who says to those women, that you cannot carry these woods to somewhere else, but that Little Witch also performs a magic on him. So he says that, you can carry all these woods. That Little Witch says to that general, drop me to my house. Now that general was under the spell that he lifts the woods and Little Witch on his back. The crow says to her when she comes back, you had to avoid to do as such. It is good deed that you help those women, but it does not mean that you may take the revenge from that general. Now the Little Witch had not her magical broomstick, so she moves to the market to purchase a new broomstick, where she notices many things, visiting the market. Then she discovers the broomstick shop where she observes that Thomas' sister is standing there, whose mother had not the penny to make them purchase the candies. So she likes broomstick for her and she also purchases some of the candies with it. When Thomas' sister checks her pocket, then she discovers the candies from there. She does not understand, seeing it, from where and how did these candies come to her. Little Witch also observes a girl there who were selling the paper flowers. That girl tells her that no one is purchasing these flowers. Then Little Witch alters those flowers into beautiful and with sweet scent while performing her magic on them. So that flower seller girls all flowers are sold. Seeing it, Little Witch is extremely happy. Now she had also possessed her own broomstick here. So she flies to her house, using that broom. On the other side, Thomas and her sister had forgotten their way in the forest. So they reach the house of Little Witch. Both kids say, recognizing her, she is girl met in market. Then Little Witch offers them the best food items for meal. Thomas' sister asks her here, are you witch? Thomas says to her sister that you had to avoid to ask such a thing from her. Then Little Witch begins to show them while performing her magic. Those kids feels excitement, seeing her magic. After this, they ask Little Witch to perform the different things. Then that Little Witch shows all those things after performing them. And she also begins to play the song, using each item of her house. At the exact time, somebody comes to their door. Little Witch finds Rumpempel when she comes outside to check. She tells, I was passing through this place, so I thought, why do I not meet with you? Tell me, how is going your study of book? Little Witch tells her, I did not read anything today, because I was cleaning. Rumpempel had known here that Little Witch has practiced the magic right now, so she says to the Little Witch, do you know that it is Friday, and it is forbidden to perform magic on Friday? Rumpempel asks her, seeing a kept basket there, have you any outsider in your house? Then Little Witch says while refusing at that, no, no one is here, and the two kids' siblings who are present here. Then they begin to sneeze, so Little Witch has to sneeze here because of them. Then Rumpempel suspects that there is surely someone in the house, and she also writes all these incidents in her book. Then Little Witch sends these kids to their house, but Rumpempel catches those kids, and she also knows here that these are the same kids who had hidden in the house of Little Witch. On the other side, the crow was explaining the Little Witch that, if you knew that Friday is forbidden for the magic practice, why did you practice magic? Then Little Witch says that I just wanted to make those kids happy. Then Little Witch reads this book properly for the whole year. So she memorizes all the magic spells. And she always used to struggle for this, that she may pronounce these spells accurately. Now the winter had started, where Crow forbids to go outside because of being caught by the cold. Then Little Witch says here, I just come back after taking the fresh air. When Little Witch reaches market, then she observes that some children are playing there, but two naughty kids are teasing them, coming there. So Little Witch practices magic here to teach the lesson to both of the not kids. So those kids are caught in the frost there. All the rest of the children were feeling happiness, witnessing it, when one of the kids begin to leave from there after being sad. Then Little Witch chases her, and Rumpempel was also present here. Little Witch asks that kid, you are looking a little sad to me. Tell me, what is the fact? Then that kid tells that a man who was beating me. In fact, he is my father, and he is addicted of gambling, and he wastes all the money in it. Hearing it, Little Witch helps that kid. And they reach at that place at night where kid's father used to visit for gambling. They were playing a game where a wall was touching to that wooden floor again and again through a magic. Due to this, the whole place is damaged there. Then they are got out while pushing. That kid's father was also among them. That kid helps his father. His father had also felt this, that he had scolded his son with no cause. Rumpempel was also noticing this. That Little Witch is nice witch who does good with everyone. That he makes everyone happy and treats everyone as a well-wisher. Little Witch observes the kindled candles everywhere when she reaches at her house. And she also observes a cake there. It was done by that crow. Because it is the birthday of Little Witch and she had grown to 128 years old today. One day, Rumpempel approaches out of the house of Little Witch, where she hands over the invitation to her for the annual festival. She also says to her, have you remembered that there is your test with it? Little Witch says to her, you can tell them after going that. I am perfectly prepared. I will come with full preparation, and I will show to become a good witch. And that day had approached today when Little Witch's test was going to be conducted, and she moves to such a cave where no one was present. At the same time, she voices that I have reached. Then all great witches are also approached here, and they ask her, are you ready? Then they ask her to perform the different magics, where she had memorized all magic spells. She performed all magics without taking the help of book. Due to this, all the witches are got excited. At the same time, Rumpempel reveals that I have kept an eye on this girl for the whole year. She is good witch and treat well with the human beings, and she helps the people, and she has also not enough grown, nor the wrinkles have appeared on her face. Then the chief witch says to the Little Witch that you have committed a blunder because you cannot help the human beings, because the helper of the human beings is considered an evil witch. The Little Witch clarifies herself asking, What is bad in it if I have helped the humans? And this rule had also not told me before. The doing good is forbidden for the witches. Consequently, all magical powers of the little witch were going to disappear now. Then Rumpelstiltskin suggests that you have an option if you want to protect yourself. That you will have to turn those kids named Thomas and her sister into stones. Then you can be the one of us. Then Little Witch forbids to do this. And she returns to her house in fury, where she also says ill for her friend Crow. And she also says to it, "It was better to not have you, because you had made me be good." Saying it, she gets the crow out of her house. Now a complete day was going to pass, so she was going to reach to Thomas and his sister, to convert them into stones, carrying out the orders of the witches. She also utters the magic spells, but she remains unable to act as such. Little Witch tells both kids, "I am not getting ability to do any evil deed." Both kids says, "There is nothing bad it, but it is good one." That Little Witch reveals to them, "It is the last night of my magic, and I will not be able to practice the magi after this." But Little Witch draws magical circle in the surroundings of those kids, so the other witch may not harm or tease them while approaching there. Then Rumpelstiltskin says to that Little Witch, "Coming there, I will kill these kids if you don't end them. Just remember it, don't forget." When Little Witch comes to the house, then thinks that everything will be lost if this magical book has disappeared, because no witch has remembered a single magic spell. So Little Witch moves away after memorizing all the magic spells. When she puts the matchbox in her pocket and it is dropped down at the same place, Crow thinks here that it should go to help the Little Witch. And it was the same night when all witches used to dance together. Now Little Witch begins to enchant there, and she puts all witches' broomsticks into the bonfire. And she alerts all the magic books, and she also puts them into the bonfire. She had no matchbox, and she begins to forget the spells within a minute. So all the witches begin to put a heavy hand on her. At the same time, Little Witch converts the head witch into a frog. All witches were laughing here, but Rumpelstiltskin has disappeared from there. Crow had also approached here to help the Little Witch, taking the matchbox. Little Witch turns all other witches into the frogs. She feels her mistake and embraces her crow. She meets Rumpelstiltskin at the same time as she was going to inflame the bonfire, whom Little Witch always wanted to transform her into the unique animal. At last, Little Witch transforms her into a horrible animal, performing her magic on her. Afterwards, that Little Witch inflames that bonfire. Due to this, all magical brooms in those books are also burned in it, and all the witches who had transformed into the frogs. They had run far from there. Now Little Witch and her friend were alone there, who begin to rejoice and dance here alone. Now Little Witch is very excited that she continues to dance for the whole night there, and she says that there will not come any evil witch now. After this, Little Witch was also teaching her crow to perform the magic, and the movie also completes on this scene here. Thanks for watching the video. Smash the like and subscribe button.